Story number 1. The Dreaming Priest. These motivational stories will encourage you to follow your dreams, treat others with kindness, and never give up on yourself. Long time ago, there lived a priest who was extremely lazy and poor at the same time. He did not want to do any hard work, but used to dream of being rich one day. He got his food by begging for alms. One morning, he got a pot of milk as part of the alms. He was extremely delighted and went home with the pot of milk. He boiled the milk, drank some of it, and put the remaining milk in a pot. He added slight curds in the pot for converting the milk to curd. He then lay down to sleep. Soon he started imagining about the pot of curd while he lay asleep. He dreamed that if he could become rich somehow, all his miseries would be gone. His thoughts turned to the pot of milk he had set to form. Curd. He dreamed on. By morning, the pot of milk would set, it would be converted to curd. I would churn the curd and make butter from it. I would heat the butter and make ghee out of it. I will then go to that market and sell that ghee and make some money. With that money, I will buy a hen. The hen will lay eggs which will hatch, and there will be many chicken. These chicken will in turn lay hundreds of eggs, and I will soon have a poultry farm of my own. He kept on imagining. I will sell all the hens of my poultry and buy some cows and open a milk dairy. All the town people will buy milk from me. I will be very rich, and soon I shall buy jewels. The king will buy all the jewels from me. I will be so rich that I will be able to marry an exceptionally beautiful girl from a rich family. Soon I will have a handsome son. If he does any mischief, I will be very angry, and to teach him a lesson, I will hit him with a big stick. During this dream, he involuntarily picked up the stick next to his bed and, thinking that he was beating his son, raised the stick and hit the pot. The pot of milk broke, and he awoke from his daydream. Moral: there is no substitute for hard work. Dreams cannot be fulfilled without hard work. Story number 2. Boy's Job Appraisal. A little boy went into a drugstore, reached for a soda carton, and pulled it over to the telephone. He climbed onto the carton so that he could reach the buttons on the phone and proceeded to punch in 7 digits. Phone numbers. The store owner observed and listened to the conversation. Boy: Lady, can you give me the job of cutting your lawn? Woman, at the other end of the phone line: I already have someone to cut my lawn. Boy: Lady, I will cut your lawn for half the price of the person who cuts your lawn now. Woman: I'm very satisfied with the person who is presently cutting my lawn. Boy, with more perseverance: Lady, I'll even sweep your curb and your sidewalk, so on Sunday you will have the prettiest lawn in all of Palm Beach, Florida. Woman: No, thank you. With a smile on his face, the little boy replaced the receiver. The store owner, who was listening to all this, walked over to the boy. Store owner: Son, I like your attitude, I like that positive spirit, and would like to offer you a job. Boy: No thanks. Store owner: But you were really pleading for one. Boy: No, sir. I was just checking my performance at the job I already have. I am the one who is working for that lady I was talking to. Morale: This is what we call self-appraisal. Every time, if we don't get ahead of others, we blame others for it. We should look to ourselves and compare, find own weaknesses, and work hard to throw away weaknesses. Always work hard, honest, and with full dedication. It will always pay up. Story number 3. Keep your dream. I have a friend named Monty Roberts who owns a horse ranch in San Isidro. He has let me use his house to put on fundraising events to raise money for youth at risk programs. The last time I was there, he introduced me by saying, "I want to tell you why I let Jack use my horse." It all goes back to a story about a young man who was the son of an itinerant horse trainer who would go from stable to stable, racetrack to racetrack, farm to farm, and ranch to ranch, training horses. As a result, the boy's high school career was continually interrupted. When he was a senior, he was asked to write a paper about what he wanted to be and do when he grew up. That night, he wrote a 7-page paper describing his goal of someday owning a horse ranch. He wrote about his dream in great detail, and he even drew a diagram of a 200-acre ranch, showing the location of all the buildings, the stables, and the track. Then he drew a detailed floor plan for a 4,000-square-foot house that would sit on a 200-acre dream ranch. He put a great deal of his heart into the project, and the next day he handed it in to his teacher. 2 days later, he received his paper back. On the front page was a large red F with a note that read, "See me after class." The boy with the dream went to see the teacher after class and asked, "Why did I receive an F?" The teacher said, "This is an unrealistic dream for a young boy like you. You have no money, you come from an itinerant family, you have no resources. Owning a horse ranch requires a lot of money. You have to buy the land, you have to pay for the original breeding stock, and later you'll have to pay large stud fees. There's no way you could ever do it." Then the teacher added, "If you will rewrite this paper with a more realistic goal, I will reconsider your grade." The boy went home and thought about it long and hard. He asked his father what he should do. His father said, "Look, son, you have to make up your own mind on this. However, I think it is a very important decision for you." Finally, after sitting with it for a week, the boy turned in the same paper, making no changes at all. He stated, "You can keep the F, and I'll keep my dream." Monty then turned to the assembled group and said, "I tell you this story because you are sitting in my 4,000-square-foot house in the middle of my 200-acre horse ranch. I still have that school paper framed over the fireplace." He added, "The best part of the story is that 2 summers ago, that same school teacher brought 30 kids to camp out on my ranch for a week. When the teacher was leaving, he said, 'Look, Monty, I can tell you this now. When I was your teacher, I was something of a dream stealer. During those years, I stole a lot of kids' dreams. Fortunately, you had enough gumption not to give up on yours.' Morale: don't let anyone steal your dreams. Follow your heart, no matter what. No dream is too big or too small when one works hard to live it. One should always try making dreams come true, no matter what." Story number 4. Lazy Donkey. Bola owns a donkey called Kandya. Bola is a very tolerant and kind master. The donkey is lazy and is always finding ways to avoid work. Once, while returning with loads of salt on his back, Kandya falls in the river. He realizes that the fall has lessened the weights of the sacks as the salt has dissolved in the water. The next few days, Kandya purposely falls into the water every day. Bola is unhappy at the way Kandya is behaving because he is losing money in the process. He decides to teach Kandya a lesson. The next day, instead of salt bags, he loads Kandya with bags of cotton. Kandya is unaware of the change. As planned, he falls into the water and gets the bags wet. He is surprised to find the load unbearable. His otherwise master also starts beating him. Kandya learns his lesson and starts behaving. Morale: work with honesty and sincerity because laziness will ruin you. Story number 5. Looking at mirror one day. All the employees reached the office and they saw a big advice on the door on which it was written, "Yesterday the person who has been hindering your growth in this company passed away. We invite you to join the funeral in the room that has been prepared in the gym." In the beginning, they all got sad for the death of one of their colleagues. But after a while, they started getting curious to know who was that man who hindered the growth of his colleagues and the company itself. The excitement in the gym was such that security agents were ordered to control the crowd within the room. The more people reached the coffin, the more the excitement heated up. Everyone thought, "Who is this guy who was hindering my progress? Well, at least he died." One by one, the thrilled employees got closer to the coffin, and when they looked inside it, they suddenly became speechless. They stood nearby the coffin, shocked and in silence, as if someone had touched the deepest part of their soul. There was a mirror inside the coffin. Everyone who looked inside it could see himself. There was also a sign next to the mirror that said, "There is only one person who is capable to set limits to your growth. It is you. You are the only person who can revolutionize your life. You are the only person who can influence your happiness, your realization, and your success. You are the only person who can help yourself. Your life does not change when your boss changes, when your friends change, when your partner changes, when your company changes. Your life changes when you change, when you go beyond your limiting beliefs, when you realize that you are the only one responsible for your life. The most important relationship you can have is the one you have with yourself. Morale: the world is like a mirror. It gives back to anyone the reflection of the thoughts in which one has strongly believed. The world and your reality are like mirrors lying in a coffin, which show to any individual the death of his divine capability to imagine and create his happiness and his success. It's the way you face life that makes the difference.